We'd like to welcome Jan and Suzanne, and they're going to be demonstrating the Intermediare-II and Grand Prix. We've had some questions about temperament and those sorts of things, and I think we'll wait till after lunch because we have the young horses coming up, and we'll talk about the young horses, the selecting a young horse, what you want to look for, that sort of thing. So in the Intermediare-II, we ask for passage, we ask for piaffe, we don't ask for as many steps, and it says that the horse can move forward in the piaffe. There aren't as many one-tempi changes, and things are supposed to be a little bit easier. The biggest problem, of course, is that the piaffe starts at C right in front of the judge, and I always think at Intermediare-I it's nice to put it someplace else where if you need to cluck a little bit you can and the judge won't hear you. But kind of is a bad location. Because, hey, face it, you know, a little cheating here or there is not a bad thing, right? So, but I didn't say that. I'll deny it. So when we talk about the piaffe and the passage, again, it's a trot, okay? Piaffe, passage, extended trot, medium trot, it's all trot, it's all diagonal pairs. The only thing that changes a little bit is the tempo. The tempo in the piaffe is a little bit quicker, and the tempo in the passage is a little bit slower because it comes off the ground. And in a good piaffe, the horse should jump from one loaded hind leg to the other loaded hind leg with a moment of suspension in between. And we don't see that quality really very often. So as a judge, I take into account all of the things I'm supposed to be looking for. But again, quality is still the most important thing. So if the piaffe has a very good quality and it moves a little too much forward even at the Grand Prix, I still can give it an 8. I haven't, I have to admit, read the entire new book that the FEI has put out with the directives on all the different movements. I don't know if you've all heard about that, but it is out, it is available. It's $40 from the FEI. And it's a guideline for the judges that it goes through every score and every movement and what you're supposed to do for each score at each movement. Now, having discussed it with some of my colleagues, Gabrielle, have you read that book yet? Aha. Okay, good. Well, he's way ahead of me. I think just in reading a little bit, the distinctions between this score and that score, it's very, very small. But it's interesting reading, and it is available, and it's, again, more education and more information for all of you. And I know Linda Zangs, our FEI-I judge, spent a lot of time helping to write it. I wish they would put a index in there, so if you wanted to look at the shoulder end, you could go back, look up shoulder end, and know what page it was on. The way it is now, you just have to kind of shuffle through, and that's, I think, a little bit confusing. So you should probably get that book too.
Very good.
Okay, start to read it. So let's look a little bit at these horses. So let's pick up our canter, both of you. And Suzanne, your horse is what breed?
He's a Dutch thoroughbred from Argentina.
Okay, and your horse is? Hanoverian. Okay, so we have a Hanoverian. So we have two different types of horses, which is always kind of fun to look at. So we should see now at this level the highest amount of collectability, the highest amount of muscling and strength, the highest amount of reaction to our aids. And, you know, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So let's go straight ahead and come through the diagonal and, oh, I don't know, 7 2-tempis. Quite nice and straight. Little tiny bit of swinging. Okay, and both horses, obviously, you'd say, do they know how to do twos? Yes, they both did the 2 tempies. Suzanne's horse could have had a little more collection. The other horse lost a little bit of straightness. Let's do some 1 tempies. 7 or 9. Okay, Suzanne, does he know those? Okay, so go ahead and walk. Let's let Suzanne have another shot. That can happen at the Intermediate-II level. You know, something that you're schooling at home and you get out there and you're like, okay, I know this button is here. I know it's here. Where'd it go? There we go. And at Intermediate-II, you often see little boo-boos. They start well, they have little boo-boos. Again, you know, when something is introduced for the first time, you can be a little bit nicer. Now, what else happens at these levels? The half passes. All right, now we have to count. What a bummer, right? Let's do a little bit of trot, and let's do the trot half passes. Let's just do 1 from the left. And now the angle becomes very oblique, okay? As you move up the levels, you'll see that the angle...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's gone. Somebody blew a fuse. All right, the angles get more oblique. So let's go F to E. Frank to Edward. So we need a higher degree of lateral suppleness to be able to do this angle and maintain the cadence and maintain the balance. Okay, go to the next corner, Jan, and do 1 from A to B. Suzanne, K to B, half pass right. So yesterday we said, gee, I don't know anybody who basically does 2 9s. One's usually an 8, one's a 9. I know a lot of horses who do 2 6s, so I'm not talking about that. But are the horses absolutely equal? In theory, they're supposed to be. You know, Jan, that was pretty good both ways. You might be an exception to the rule.
What's the rule?
There is a rule. Now, Suzanne's horse is clearly 1 mark higher to the right than the left. Okay, how about the canter half passes? Let's go from the corner, flying change to E, half pass right, back to the canter. 1 at a time. Jan, you can go first. So the different tests, the Grand Prix Special, the I-2, the canter changes a little bit. What you do at the canter and the angles change a little bit. Okay, so at least there we can say the left one is better than the right one. Suzanne's cheating a little bit. She's cutting the corners, which of course makes it easier. And then she doesn't cut to E. So if she did that in the test, I would have to be very mean to Suzanne. All right, because that's clearly below the standard that we're looking for.